This is IBG News Golden Hour podcast on December 14, 2022. News read by Rosie. Russian President Vladimir Putin sent greetings to the participants, organizers, and guests of the 22nd Art Square International Winter Festival. This year's festival is devoted to the 140th anniversary of the Academic Symphony Orchestra of the Shostakovich St. Petersburg Academic Philharmonic. December 13, 2022. It is a pleasure to know that for many years, the festival has retained its high status and is rightfully considered one of the most important and long-awaited events in the cultural life of St. Petersburg and all of Russia. Its invariably rich and full program brings together at concert halls renowned masters and young talent, familiarizes the public with masterpieces of Russian and world art, and gives it a rich palette of emotions. I'm sure that the festival owes its huge, grandiose success and creative longevity to its creator and permanent artistic director Maestro Yuri Tamirkanov, his huge creative potential, inexhaustible inspiration, as well as excellent organizing skills and personal qualities. In an additional press note, President of Russia's office told that on December 14, President Vladimir Putin will hold regular meetings with government members via video conference. The meeting will focus on the discussion of the new stage of the control and oversight reform, the so-called regulatory guillotine, as well as the improvement of permitting activities. Deputy Prime Minister Dmitry Grigorenko will present a report. On the afternoon of December 13, 2022, President Vladimir Putin took part, via video conference, in the opening ceremony of a number of new and reconstructed transport infrastructure facilities. A number of current issues will also be addressed. These were updated by the Russian President's office on December 13, 2022.
You are listening to IBG News Golden Hour podcast. News read by Billy Joey. In a press intimation, the United States of America's Secretary of State office informed that private sector partnerships support the African and Diaspora Young Leaders Forum. Africa, December 13, 2022. The Department of State's Office of Global Partnerships announces 3 partnerships with private sector partners to collaborate on the African and Diaspora Young Leaders Forum, part of the larger U South Africa Leaders Summit. These partners, African Diaspora Network, Atlantic Council's Africa Center, and Netflix are leveraging their expertise to support the forum's theme of amplifying voices, building partnerships that last. The Department of State is partnering with the African Diaspora Network, with support from the Gates Foundation, to co-host a high-level working lunch focused on channeling diaspora remittances into productive investments in Africa. The Department of State is partnering with the Atlantic Council, with support from the Open Society Foundation, to co-host a networking breakfast highlighting and exhibiting artists and creatives from throughout the continent. U.S. companies Meta and Google will use their innovative technologies to showcase these creatives. The Department of State is partnering with Netflix in collaboration with UNESCO to host a screening and panel discussion of one of the winners of their African Folktales, Reimagined short film competition. The Department of State's Office of Global Partnerships welcomes our collaboration with these partners and looks forward to a fruitful African and Diaspora Young Leaders Forum.
You are listening to IBG News Golden Hour podcast. News read by Henry. U.S. Special Representative for the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, DPRK, Kim's meeting with Republic of Korea Special Representative for Korean Peninsula Peace and Security Affairs Kim and Japanese Ministry of Foreign Affairs Director General for Asian and Oceanian Affairs Funakoshi. Washington, D.C., December 13, 2022. Information given by Office of the Spokesperson Ned Price. U.S. Special Representative for the DPRK Ambassador Sung Kim hosted Republic of Korea, ROK, Special Representative for Korean Peninsula Peace and Security Affairs Kim Gun and Japanese Ministry of Foreign Affairs Director General for Asian and Oceanian Affairs Funakoshi Takahiro in bilateral and trilateral meetings in Jakarta, Indonesia today to discuss U.S. ROK-Japan cooperation in response to the DPRK's unprecedented number of unlawful ballistic missile launches this year, including 8 ICBMs. The officials shared assessments of the DPRK's recent actions and expressed concern about Pyongyang's continued flagrant disregard for UN Security Council resolutions. They also reviewed the synchronized trilateral release of sanctions targeting the DPRK in early December and emphasized the need to use all available tools to further limit the growth of the DPRK's destabilizing ballistic missile and nuclear programs. They underscored the need to raise greater global awareness of the DPRK's malicious cyber activities and its egregious record of human rights violations and abuses. The officials also called upon Pyongyang to immediately cease its unlawful and dangerous behavior and return to constructive dialogue to promote peace and stability on the Korean Peninsula and in the region. These meetings follow a trilateral leaders-level meeting between President Biden, President Yoon of the ROC and Prime Minister Kishida of Japan last month in Cambodia and underscore the close ongoing U.S. collaboration with the ROC and Japan on DPRK issues and the ironclad U.S. commitments to the security of our ROC and Japan allies. You are listening to IBG News Golden Hour podcast. News read by Henry. Joint Statement on the United States-Uzbekistan Strategic Partnership Dialogue. December 13, 2022. Office of the Spokesperson of United States State Department. The text of the following statement was released by the governments of the United States of America and the Republic of Uzbekistan on the occasion of the annual United States-Uzbekistan Strategic Partnership Dialogue. On December 13, 2022, Assistant Secretary for South and Central Asian Affairs Donald Lu hosted an Uzbekistani delegation, led by Minister of Foreign Affairs of the Republic of Uzbekistan Vladimir Norov, for a productive annual Strategic Partnership Dialogue, SPD, in Washington. The U.S. Uzbekistan SPD was inaugurated in 2021 to discuss a wide range of issues and shared priorities integral to the U.S. Uzbekistani bilateral relationship. Assistant Secretary Lu opened by reiterating the United States' unwavering support for Uzbekistan's independence, sovereignty, and territorial integrity. The United States thanked Uzbekistan for its key participation in the C5+1 diplomatic format and underscored the importance the format holds in addressing challenges together and creating a more prosperous and secure Central Asia. The two governments also discussed Uzbekistan's announced reform agenda. Assistant Secretary Lu reiterated support for implementation of the ambitious agenda and highlighted how the U.S. government provides practical assistance to advance the reforms, including in the areas of the economy, education, and respect for human rights for all. The delegations emphasized their determination to foster trade and investment partnerships and maintain a favorable environment for business activities in both countries. The delegations discussed media freedom, protection of journalists, and support for civil society. Additionally, the delegations discussed ongoing efforts regarding Afghanistan, to which the United States thanked Uzbekistan for its partnership in providing humanitarian assistance. The delegations also discussed collaboration on key security issues such as strengthening border management and defense capabilities, as well as counter-narcotics and counter-terrorism. Assistant Secretary Lu highlighted Uzbekistan's commitment to peace and security in the region. The United States welcomed Uzbekistan's willingness to establish new trade routes and diversify import and export markets, strengthen regional connectivity, its endorsement of the Global Methane Pledge and other efforts to combat the climate crisis, and its desire to advance its economic reforms, including in women's economic empowerment. The United States noted its eagerness to support these efforts. Noting the People-to-People Working Group meeting held in September, Assistant Secretary Lu thanked Foreign Minister Norov for Uzbekistan's support regarding ongoing English and education programs, which aim to invest in the professional development of the people of Uzbekistan. Assistant Secretary Lu also commended Uzbekistan for its interest in reviving a Peace Corps program in Uzbekistan and strengthening its cultural heritage protection efforts. Additionally, the two governments highlighted their willingness to continue their successful partnership in combating the threat of serious diseases and ensuring quality health care. Both the United States and Uzbekistan reaffirmed the value of the SPD in finding common ground on issues of deep mutual interest. Assistant Secretary Liu and Foreign Minister Norov jointly decided to reconvene the U.S. Uzbekistan Strategic Partnership Dialogue in 2023.
You are listening to IBG News Golden Hour podcast. News read by Mirai. The 14th edition of the IBG Kolkata Literary Festival, AKLF, will commence on 12th January, 2023. Times 100 Years of Oxford Bookstore is the festival theme for 2023. Times the Indian Museum in Kolkata, the oldest such museum in Asia, is partnering the 3-day literary festival, which will be held on the Majestic Museum grounds as well as the Heritage Oxford Bookstore. Times the Pulitzer Prize-winning iconic writer Alice Walker will be among over 100 speakers at AKLF, which will be held in its original on-site format with some hybrid sessions. Highlights of the event. Festival dates 12th January to 15th January, 2023. Inauguration on 12th January 2023, with leading Kolkata authors, scholars and artists to celebrate 100 years of Oxford Bookstore, an iconic landmark of Kolkata. Heritage venue, festival partner the Indian Museum, Kolkata, will host AKLF in the Majestic Museum grounds. Inclusiveness, sessions focusing on women, Dalit, LGBTQ++ writing, translation, children's and young adult writing. Tributes, birthday tribute to Nabnita Dev Sen, centennial tribute to Mrinal Sen. Wide range, from historical fiction to biography, memoir to food and nutrition, wellness to mental health, cinema to poetry, there is something for everyone. Shortlist announcement. Oxford Bookstore Book Cover Prize will announce the shortlist. 13 December 2022, Kolkata. Apijay Surendra Group and Oxford Bookstores today announced that the 14th edition of the Apijay Kolkata Literary Festival, AKLF, will be hosted in partnership with the Indian Museum on its grounds from 12th January to 15th January, 2023. After going online for 2 consecutive editions, because of COVID, the 14th edition of AKLF reverts to its physical format. The first international literary festival in Kolkata and Eastern India, AKLF, a non-profit initiative, free for everyone, is the only literary festival organized by a bookstore, the 100-year-old Oxford Bookstore. This edition of AKLF has 100 years of Oxford Bookstore as its theme. Alice Walker, in the company of renowned international, national and diasporic authors, will participate in AKLF 2023. Preeti Paul, Director, Apijay Surendra Group, said, "We look forward to celebrating the centenary of the Oxford Bookstore at AKLF 2023 with several special events plus our signature Oxford Junior Literary Festival for younger readers who, as the book lovers of tomorrow, are the future of Oxford Bookstore." I am delighted that after 2 years of virtual editions, Apijay Kolkata Literary Festival is returning to the physical format in partnership with the magnificent heritage institution, the Indian Museum. This resonates perfectly with our celebration of 100 years of the Oxford Bookstore, a heritage property and real Kolkata institution. Arijit Datta Chaudhary, Director, Indian Museum, Kolkata, said, "It gives us immense pleasure to share that on the momentous occasion of the celebration of 75 years of India's independence, Indian Museum, in collaboration with the Oxford Bookstore and the Apijay Kolkata Literary Festival, AKLF, is organizing the 14th edition of this literary festival on January 2023 at the Indian Museum, Kolkata." The Indian Museum is the oldest and largest museum of our country. This multipurpose institution with multidisciplinary activities is the pride of the nation. The primary focus of organizing this event is to encourage and strengthen the mental and cultural spirit of our visitors and to promote Indian culture through our devotion to upholding the tangible and intangible heritage of our country. Maina Bhagat, Director, Oxford Bookstore and AKLF, said, "The 14th edition of AKLF unfolds a year-long celebration of the Heritage Oxford Bookstore's centenary, a journey which reflects the life, times and rich history of our great city. Oxford Bookstore has enriched generations of book lovers to bring the world closer through books, to express their own vision of the future at the bookstore's various platforms to celebrate the diversity and richness of human experience. It has enabled our stories, our culture, and our history to be passed on to future generations. As Neil Gaiman said, bookstores are dreams built of wood and paper. They are time travel and escape, knowledge and power. They are, simply put, the best of places. As it steps into the future, Oxford Bookstore continues to strive for excellence and to be, simply put, the best of places. Anjum Katyal, director, Eccles said in celebrating 100 years of Oxford Bookstore, Eccles celebrates the infinite and inclusive world of a true bookstore, which makes space on its shelves and in its heart for debate, dissent, and contrasting points of view, and which welcomes writers of every race, caste and creed. No subject is too heavy or too light, too obscure or too popular for the bookstore, and Eccles reflects this wide range of interests in its programming. We cover everything from historical fiction to mental health to gender, street food to lifestyle, mystery to cinema. Come and savor the variety on offer. For its 14th edition, the festival will feature a prestigious list of speakers, authors, and humanitarians from diverse fields of non-fiction, fiction, history, wellness to mental health, mythology, food, dance, history, art, and culture, translations, poetry, and music, language, on the grounds of Indian Museum. The Pulitzer Prize-winning iconic writer Alice Walker will be among over 100 speakers at Eccles. The illustrious list of speakers also includes filmmakers Oneir and Muzaffar Ali, poet Jerry Pinto, poet Jeet Thail, journalist, author, and columnist Veer Sanghvi, author Shobha D., author, academician, and museum curator Dia Alka Pandey, poet Janice Parriott, dancer Malika Sarabhai, author Shobha Tharoor Srinivasan, actor Arunoday Singh, author Durjoy Datta, journalist and columnist Bati Karkaria, translator Arunava Sinha, author Anuja Chauhan, filmmaker and author Vandana Kohli, social activist and writer Sayyida Hamid, actor Divya Datta, chef and author Karen Anand, French dancer and choreographer Annette Lede, writer Christopher Klobel, author John Zubziki, singer Usha Uthup, author Shalini Modi, translator Arshia Sattar, journalist and author Shrabni Basu, publisher and writer Urvashi Butalia. Along with the festival partner the Indian Museum, the other partners include the Park Hotels, the Glenburn Penthouse, Cha Bar, Goethe Institute Max Mueller Bhavan, French Embassy in India, Ambassade de France Enide, Institute Francaise India, Alliance Francaise du Bangle, Prakriti Foundation, and Seagull Books. IBG Kolkata Literary Festival, India's only literary festival created by Bookstore and Kolkata's first literary festival, reflects our city's vibrancy of thought, its engagement with the literary world at large, and explores literature as part of our tangible and intangible heritage. Celebrate books, music, art, film, and more with the finest creative minds in the nation and globally, as events unfold at the city's magnificent heritage sites. Please visit www.eccles. To know more. You are listening to IBG News Golden Hour podcast. News read by Mirai. Stepped up focus on safety in coal mines. Holds 48th meeting of Standing Committee on Safety in Coal Mines. 13 December 2022 news shared by Press Information Bureau, New Delhi. The 48th meeting of the Standing Committee on Safety in Coal Mines was held in New Delhi under the chairmanship of Union Minister of Coal, Mines and Parliamentary Affairs Shri Prahlad Joshi. Standing Committee is the highest tripartite committee at the national level to review the status of safety in coal mines and adequacy of existing measures in a spirit of mutual cooperation and sharing of ideas and suggestions. Minister Shri Joshi, Minister of State for Coal, Mines and Railways Shri Rosaheb Patil Danve, Secretary, Coal, Chairman, CIL, DG, DGMS, CMDs of CIL subsidiaries, senior officials of the coal companies, trade union leaders and representatives from various captive commercial coal companies were present in the meeting. More than 20 coal companies with operating coal mines, commercial captive, participated in the meeting. Minister Shri Joshi mentioned that safety is top priority in coal sector and advised all coal companies to ensure that there is no scarcity of fund for ensuring safety measures. He expressed satisfaction on the best ever performance of all coal companies this year. India's coal production increased impressively by 17% to 524.20 million metric ton during April-November 2022 as compared 447.54 metric tons production during the same period of the previous year. Between April to November 22, total coal dispatch has been 558 metric tons, a growth of almost 7.5% over last year. As a result, India's thermal power generation increased by 16% during November. The minister mentioned that all our achievements would be futile if our workers are not safe and healthy. Mine safety is always given the highest priority in the coal sector and asked strictly to follow. Safety first, production must in all mines. He also mentioned the steps taken by coal companies to increase safety in coal mines. Adoption of risk assessment-based safety management plan. Job safety analysis-based standard operating procedures, toolbox safety talk. Mine surveillance such as electronic total station, 3D terrestrial laser scanning, SERPAC software, mine slope stability radar. Suraksha Mitra Mandali IE. Safety circle to enhance safety culture. We have to ensure the best safety practices in all spheres of mining activities. Minister Shri Joshi further stated that there has been significant improvement in the safety records as number of fatal and serious accidents in coal mines between 47th meeting and 48th meeting, last 8 months, dropped significantly despite high increase in coal production. The minister also suggested that ultimate goal of zero accident and zero harm can be achieved by adoption of advanced technology, skilled human resources, and safe workplace procedures. Beside these, coal companies to take steps such as strategize on scaling up safety and sustainability initiatives as showcased in the National Coal Conclave and Exhibition 2022. Increased use of continuous miner, long wall, bolter miner, road header, and other modern mining methods. Blast-free coal mining should be encouraged for boosting safety and protecting the environment. Various issues were raised by the trade union leaders. The minister assured that all the issues raised by the leaders will be looked into by the Coal Ministry and necessary directions will be issued to coal companies for resolution of these issues. You are listening to IBG News Golden Hour podcast. News read by Mirai. Update on status of foreign medical students. Returning students are permitted to appear in foreign medical graduate examination subject to the condition that they have been granted certificate of course completion by their respective institute. Government has communicated with all concerned universities in Ukraine for providing transcripts and other documents in a smooth manner to students. News by Press Information Bureau, Delhi. Foreign medical students graduates are either covered under Screening Test Regulations, 2002 or Foreign Medical Graduate Licentiate Regulations, 2021. There are no such provisions in the Indian Medical Council Act 1956 and the National Medical Commission Act, 2019 as well as the regulations to accommodate or transfer medical students from any foreign medical institutes to Indian medical colleges. No permission has been given by the NMC to transfer or accommodate any foreign medical students in any Indian medical institute university. The National Medical Commission, NMC, has devised a scheme under which Indian students who were in the last year of their undergraduate medicine course due to COVID-19, Russia-Ukraine conflict etc. had to leave their foreign medical institute and have subsequently completed their studies as also have been granted certificate of completion of course degree by the respective institute on or before 30th June 2022 are permitted to appear in foreign medical graduate examination. Thereafter, upon qualifying the FMG examination, such foreign medical graduates are required to undergo compulsory rotating medical internship (CRMI) for a period of 2 years to make up for the clinical training which could not be physically attended by them during the undergraduate medicine course in the foreign institute, as also to familiarize them with practice of medicine under Indian conditions. Foreign medical graduates get registration only after completing the CRMI of 2 years. As per information received from MIA, the Indian Embassy in Kyiv has communicated with all the concerned universities in Ukraine for providing transcript and other documents in a smooth manner to the students. The details are available on the website of Embassy to assist students to address any related issues. The NMC has also issued public notices conveying its no objection to the academic mobility program offered by Ukraine, i.e., temporary relocation, for the period of conflict, to other universities applicable in either of 29 countries as mentioned in the public notice. The Union Minister of State for Health and Family Welfare, Dr. Bharati Praveen Pawar stated this in a written reply in the Rajya Sabha today. Thanks for being with us. This is an IBG News Golden Hour podcast.